In this video, I want to show you guys my setup for filming outdoor interviews that are long form. So these interviews are, 30 minutes to an hour. They're not quick 10-minute interviews. These are set up all day type of interviews, 9 to 5, that sort of thing. So I like to utilize this 8x8 frame. This is kind of the key component in filming these outdoor interviews. You can get away with a 6x or even maybe a 4x, but you do have to adjust throughout the day. This is will give us pretty good coverage for the most part of the day. Right now it's about noon. Worst time to film, as you can tell by the shadows there. So this is full grid cloth, so it's a pretty thick diffusion. And I have it toppy, kind of flat like this for two reasons. One is because I'm by myself, and it's hard to manage a full 8x8 by yourself, yet alone outside. So this will cut down on wind for sure. So not having to really, have these heavily sandbagged, but you don't have to have people on top of them, because there's just not a whole bunch of movement when it's flat like this. If it was, all the way hoisted up and vertical, then it becomes like a giant hazard in a sail, and you really need a big team to manage that. But this, I feel pretty confident by myself, haven't had any issues. And then number two, having it just out of frame. So if Talent's head is give or take here, just having it a foot above or 2 feet is where you want it. So that way you don't have to chase where the Talent's going to be with the sun. It's always going to be overhead. It's always going to provide some sort of coverage. So that's why I like having it like this. So in addition to the 8x frame, I do have some lights at play as well. I have a 1200D shooting by a 40x40 silk, Matthews silk, and that's providing our nice key light. And then I have a 600D over here that is giving us a little bit of a kicker, as well as a separation backlight. These are both daylight fixtures. We're outside. You could, if you wanted to warm it up, you could add some CTO or whatever, but I'm just using daylight fixtures, keep it all clean. And these are probably both at full 100% power since we're outdoors. And then I have a 40x40 solid. It's actually a floppy, but I'm using it as a solid to give us a little bit of a negative fill on camera side. So this side of the face, that will give us a nice contrast for sure, having the light and then having the negative fill to kind of subtract some of the light. So this is the simple version of this setup. There's other ways to do it, but this is just what I find that's manageable as a one-man band type shooter. I have two cameras for coverage, FX3s, one with a 28 to 70, one with a Tamron 35 to 150. And those are the two camera angles. So I have a director's chair for the Talent, and then I have a director's chair for the director who's doing the interview. And then as far as audio, I'm just running a boom MKH50 that's going into my Zoom F6 recorder. You guys have seen that setup before, but that's pretty much it. This is just my simple interview setup. Now, if they did want to have two people on camera, we could just take the negative fill out, and there's enough room to squeeze two people in there. That's another good reason to have an 8x8 versus if you were doing a 6x6 or something, you might not be able to squeeze two people in there. But this should provide enough coverage if they want to do a two shot as opposed to just a single in there. So yeah, it is a lot, but it's a pretty simple setup. Once you have done it a few times, you kind of know exactly what to expect setup time wise. I mean, building the 8x frame by yourself is hard. I would probably recommend having 2 people, but if you've done it enough times, it's pretty easy to do by yourself. And then as far as power, then I have the 2 lights over there being powered by a gas generator, a little pop-up generator over there. And I have my van parked on the lawn, which is fine. Makes it easy for load in and load out. But yeah, that's our setup. And I'll show you guys an example of the footage.
So here's a look at some of the footage that was captured. You'll notice I'm still tweaking the lights. I'm turning them on and turning them off throughout this clip. And I'm also increasing brightness or decreasing brightness and just trying to get things dialed in. I always like to dial in each specific person that I'm doing an interview with, and not just have it, everything at 100% or whatnot. I like to get behind a bigger monitor and just kind of have my Sidus link open and really just kind of tweak settings and looking at false colors and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm doing here in this clip. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the setup and the footage and what you would have done differently, if you would have done anything differently at all. Let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking for new tips and tricks for shooting outdoors. I know it's always a hassle having to shoot outside, but I always try and make it as easy as possible. So let me know what you guys think.
Okay, so here's a C-stand tip that I find to be very helpful. Let's say you're on a shoot, you need a light, and you just need a baby pin. You don't need anything else. Your first instinct is to want to just take the arm off, grab the C-stand, use it without the arm and the knuckles and all that. But that's okay, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not efficient. Because let's say you do that with 3 or 4 C-stands. Well, then you're just left with arms and knuckles laying on the ground or in the van or on set. And it's just kind of pointless, where if you just use the same C-stand, you can use the knuckle and the arm, just flip it upside down, and then you have a baby pin right there. Same thing. Now, this might be overkill because you'll never use the arm and the knuckle for a light. But another example, if you're going from scene to scene to scene inside a house or whatever, and you might use a light on the C-stand for one shot, and then you might ditch the light, and then you need the C-stand for something else, let's say a flag. Well, now, if you don't have the arm and the knuckle on there, then you can't really use that for a flag. You have to go find the arm and the knuckle, and then, rig up a flag how you normally would with the arm and the full setup. So that's why I just like leaving it fully built. So when you get to the end of the day, you have all your knuckles, all your arms attached to your C-stands already. You don't have to go find loose arms and knuckles. They're already with the stand. So I would advise anyone, if you're using C-stand, just use the whole thing. Use the arms and knuckles, and if you just need the baby pin, just flip this stand, and then you have a baby pin, same diameter right here. And I use it like that with a 600D or whatever that doesn't need a junior pin, just a baby pin right here.
Thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.